Welcome to Stop Wasting Your Wine, a wine review podcast where we waste our wine so you don't have to. On this episode, we review
a red wine from California. So this is a Turley Juvenile Zinfandel from 2022 from the Napa Valley in California, obviously. This is 15.2% alcohol.
Jeez.
It's a banger.
That's a lot of percent of alcohol.
Yeah, I thought last week was the Halloween episode. This is terrifying.
That's a spooky amount of alcohol in this wine.
Ooh, look at you guys.
And we got this for about $30, and we got this at our local wine shop. So this is not a total wine for us. This is like a wine shop. We ventured out of our comfort zone. And I actually got this on recommendation from a gentleman named James Walker, who is a restaurant executive. And if you look at the list of restaurants that this awesome man is affiliated with, it is just like dozens and dozens of some of the coolest restaurants across the country. He has 1.6 million followers on Instagram. Wow. I shot him a message just being like, hey, could you recommend a wine? Like, what's your favorite wine under $30? And he responded and he sent this back. So we're giving this a try. Cool. Yeah. So shout out to Mr. Walker for taking the time to respond to me.
Thank you.
Excited to get into it.
How cool that this man, the very busy guy, took a minute out of his day to actually read your message, Aaron, and then shoot back a recommendation for us. That's so cool. Much appreciated.
Totally. Was not expecting a response. Just really nice guy. Took a moment. And so huge appreciation. Thank you all so much. Listeners, you should definitely check him out. Check out his website. Check out his Instagram, and appreciate the recommendation.
Absolutely.
Yahoo.
Yeah. Well, let's go ahead and give it our first kind of pass here. See what we think of this Turley Juvenile Zinfandel.
Tastes like wine.
Hey, Colin, I'll go to you first, buddy.
Sure. So you get a lot of dark fruits here. That's definitely the fruit profile I'm getting right off the bat. Maybe some blackberry. I think some plum.
Yeah, big time.
I'm getting a really, really nice spice note in there, like some of those baking spices. You could definitely tell this has seen some oak, and I think that's coming through. But unlike a couple of our wines from last week, this is real oak. This has it's really well integrated, at least on the nose, and it's that warming sensation. It just feels like you're in a spice shop in the baking section. So I love that aspect of the smell of this.
For sure. Aaron?
Yeah, everything I was going to say, like I was like, ooh, I have this in my mind, and then Colin would say it, and then I would be like, okay, it's okay, I can say this other thing, and then Colin would
I don't know why you
too.
come to me first.
Get out
just
of
go to
Yeah,
my
it's mean. It's
right,
just mean. But no, I will affirm in my expertise, the oak is like very refreshing after last week where we had two wines, one which was like passable and one which went straight down the drain. But they both had that fake oak, manufactured oak, and this is clearly aged in like real oak and just has like a real nice kind of addition to the smell, but it's not overbearing at all, and like definitely getting the spices and the dark fruit that Colin's talking about.
Agreed. I just want to add two things that I think are peeking out here pretty hard. One is raspberry.
Ooh.
And then the other one is, I thought one of you might have mentioned this, but a little bit of like cocoa, little chocolatey on there. And I think you guys might have been talking about it with the spices, but to me, sometimes when I think of the spices, I go straight to a cinnamon, a nutmeg, a vanilla sort of a thing. But to me, this is very, very clearly like a cocoa that I'm getting.
Yeah. The only other thing I would add is you could smell the alcohol at 15.5%.
Oh yeah.
But it's
what?
Yeah, I know. But it's not.
Is that what that is?
No, for sure. But it's not overbearing. But it's not out of place by any means. So, which is quite refreshing. And then I also get just a slight little hint of florality in there too. Maybe like some darker flowers, something like that.
Talked myself out of saying that because I thought it was crazy. So
no, I'm
glad you called it out, buddy. All right, let's give it a taste.
Okay, I'll go to you first, Aaron.
So from a taste standpoint, a lot of the same fruit that we kind of named, the plum, the dark fruit, like all really good. From a structure standpoint, like really nice. Like the tannins are grippy, but not overbearing. It has a really good full feeling. It's not that, we've had a couple reds recently that have like started good and then thinned out at the end, and this does not have this. This has that nice kind of full body all the way through.
Mm-hmm.
The acidity is like really nice. It's just a well-structured wine.
I would agree with that. Wonderfully well-structured. Probably, I would say medium plus on the tannin. You can really feel it in your gums. It's a cool, actually, tannic experience because sometimes you feel it depending upon the grape in different places. And I like where this gets you. It's just something that I'm noticing compared to some of the other even bigger reds that we've had. This really gets the gums in a way that not necessarily.
I'm experiencing like a lot of gums and like tip of the tongue. And like, I feel like I forget which wine it was. We had one wine that was super tannic and I liked it, but it was like it put your tongue in a vice. It was like your whole tongue was just like, ha! Like next 30 seconds, you're mine. And this is a little bit more, it's definitely like medium high, but it's like spread out and it's just all over the place. And it's just really cool.
Yeah. A lot of body on this wine, and that's the alcohol. I mean, there's nothing light about this wine. It's big, it's bold, it's intense. A lot of the fruit flavors are nice. A lot of the time with Zinfandel, I worry that it's going to be overly jammy, overly ripe. I'm not getting a lot of that. While they are more on the ripe side, it's not like I'm not eating, blackberry jam here. They're little, they're intense, but they're not overly ripe, overly cooked, or anything like that. So, Joel, do you have anything?
No, I think you guys have said it. I mean, I think what you first said too, also, Aaron, I think was spot on. Like this really translates, I think, from smell to sip really well. It smelled like it was going to be great, and it tastes great. And I think a lot of those same notes come through. I will just also say, before we were recording, you said it's pretty hot, and I liked that, Colin. I like that word. That's a word we haven't said a whole heck of a lot. Hot in that, especially early on, like you could tell it was a 15.7%?
15.2.
15.2. But boy, has that just
15.2.
Yeah, but has that not just so nicely calmed down? And it's just like, I don't know if that's part of why it feels consistent the whole way through. Like it doesn't crescendo and then fade away. It's just like it's there, it's enjoyable, it lasts the right amount of time, and then it goes away. So it's nice.
Absolutely.
You do get some alcohol in there, though. Like it kind of burns the throat. Like you could tell this is a high alcohol wine without it being offensive, which is
for sure.
Which is cool.
I think that's awesome because, we've had high alcohol wines and we've had some that just feel accidental or just like a problem. And the high alcohol of this wine seems to match the whole experience of the wine itself. It doesn't feel like a problem. It just feels like part of the experience. And I think that's pretty neat.
Yeah. I mean, we've had some lower ABV wines that have felt like 15.2% that have been maybe 13.5. So for this to be so well integrated and so unoffensive at such a high ABV, you could tell the winemaker really has a delicate touch with the grapes and how they make their wine.
Let's give it a revisit and give our official reviews. So let's give it a little swirl. It's been sitting out for, official recording time. Let's say it's been another 25, 30 minutes. See if anything is noticeably changed or what we're thinking. So I'll go to you first, Aaron.
Yeah, for the listener at home, this has been about 10 minutes of just like really enjoyable banter, I'm sure, from your end. But from our side, this has just been hours and hours of just like missteps. So this has been open for quite some time, over an hour. And like it's
quite the peek behind the curtain of how the Stop Wasting Your Wine podcast goes.
I mean, we are having a great time back here, people, like, just so you know, but it's just not as tight as it sounds on your end.
It takes a long time to edit.
Thank you, Colin.
I bet it does.
And so, before we get into that review, just like it's opened, there's definitely the benefit of how long it has been sitting out and open, but there's no new epiphanies about smells and tastes from my end. Just that everything is just feeling, just bigger and open and tasty, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I mean, we talk about it all the time. This is definitely one, though, that really needs some love and some time. And the more you give it, I think the more you're going to enjoy it. So definitely, if you're going to try this Turley Zinfandel with us, give it the time it needs. And then also, can I just say, as far as we don't always talk about just labels and aesthetic and all that good stuff, but I kind of love the little tiny label on this on the bottom. It's very simple. It's 2 colors. It's basic, but like I think it looks really cool and really pleasing.
But they have some like little like ball designs too. There's a little bit of a a design around the neck and top of the bottle. It's a little bit different, and unique. I hear you on that. It's basic. It's classy. It's very intentional. Very cool.
Cool looking. Awesome.
Yeah. The one thing I'll say about the wine is I think the spices have come a little bit more forward. Not to say the fruit's backed off any, but I think you get a little bit more of those warm baking spices on the palate, which is delightful.
Yeah. Awesome. Okay. Well, let's go ahead and do it, guys. Let's get into the review.
Yeah, but did they like it? It's time for the review.
As this is your choice, Aaron, we will let you go last. And Colin, I'll actually throw to you first for your review.
Sure. Yeah. I think this is going straight on the kitchen table. This is a really nice bottle of wine. I think as far as Zinfandel goes, this might be up there towards the top of my favorite Zinfandels I've ever had. Again, this is not a style I drink too often because I don't really like the big, bold, in-your-face intensity that usually comes with the Zinfandel. But this is just such a well put together package that I'm really, really enjoying it. I think the fruit is nice. It's not overbearing. There's nothing overbearing as far as the flavor is concerned. While the fruit is big and bold and a little bit on the riper side, it's not overly any of that. I think it's a delicious wine. One I would be more than happy to show people as a really good example of Zinfandel. So yeah, this is a must-share kitchen table one.
All right. I'm thinking big things over here. Yeah. Let me just say the Bourgogne that we tried when we were all together,
the $100 bottle,
that's not going anywhere for a long time. I still
so we're talking hold on, we're talking about the wine fridge right now.
Yeah, we're talking about the wine fridge right now.
You're in your wine fridge.
Can you believe that?
Shuffling around your wine fridge.
Yeah.
You're trying to make room in your very small wine fridge.
Yeah.
The wine fridge, that to the listener at home, only holds 3 bottles of wine.
Only 3 bottles of wine. So I currently have the Bourgogne, the Barogna Rioja, and the Planeta. And when I look at those 3, when I look at those 3, I am enjoying this more, I have to say, I think, than I'm right now between the Barogna and the Planeta in my head. I'm going to remove the Planeta.
Oh.
And I'm putting this up in there.
Stepping out.
That's fair. It's fair. But big news that it's in the wine fridge.
Yeah.
Can we,
thank you.
Small moment of thank you for the Planeta. Thank you for your service.
Wonderful. Brought down to our place of honor, former wine fridge wines.
Yeah.
They can never take that away from you.
Which is a very honorable list.
100%.
It's a go-to list.
It's a great list. Here's the reasoning too, by the way, guys. Really, really enjoying this. I do sometimes enjoy like a bolder wine. I'm into it. And this is so weirdly bold, but at the same time so balanced and so approachable. It's almost like you're getting, I'm not even gonna say punched, it's like slapped in the face, but by somebody that you really, really like. And
okay.
I love that.
All right.
Wait a minute.
That's just a Tuesday.
Did that just get weird?
Yes, but in all
slapped
the right
in the
ways.
face, but in a sexy way.
Well, I wasn't going there, but
go on, Joel.
It's
no
big.
One's kink shaming you. Continue.
It's big, but it's also doing it in such a cool, balanced, approachable, enjoyable way that I couldn't not put it in there. So it's officially going in.
I love it.
My wine fridge. Welcome.
Huge.
Amazing.
Episode.
Yes.
We have
Wine fridge wine. Wine fridge wine. I'm also putting in my wine fridge.
Ooh, what's up?
Okay.
Welcome.
Absolutely. And here's why. I have 2 solids that I'm going to have a real hard time ever saying no to. The Barogna, I just love. I buy it all the time. If folks know, Barogna, Rioja, great wine for $20. Awesome. And I have my Dom de Cantverner that I fought for, $25. Amazing. Great Riesling. dry Riesling, so good. But I've had like a revolving door of my third wine for a while that's gone through a bunch. And just a couple weeks ago, I put in the Napstein Shiraz into that spot.
You sure did.
And it is a good $20 wine, but it is not as good as this wine right here. And so if I'm thinking about just kind of like my mental, just under $30 wines, it's just kind of how I think about it. Like, can I get good wine for under $30? This is really good.
Yeah.
Comparatively. So I am taking the Napstein Shiraz out. Thank you for your service. Thank you so much. Appreciate you, and putting that off to the side. And I am putting in the Turley Juvenile Zinfandel.
$30
in my top three. $30. That's really good. This is a $30 wine. And it is very, very, very good. And again, recommended to us by James Walker, one of the top restaurant executives, hands on 1 million restaurants across the United States.
Slight hyperbole. Go on.
Only slight. Only slight. But just like a solid wine. And when I've mentioned it to other people, when I mentioned to a couple of my friends that we were reviewing this wine tonight, a couple of my buddies who were really into wine, they were just like, oh, that's a good one.
Yeah.
And I think this is the kind of wine that, like, you know, you grab and you don't think it's $30. Like, I think if I brought this to a dinner and poured it, like, I don't think anyone would guess this is a $30 bottle of wine.
Yeah, I would agree. It
really
definitely presents a lot more put together than that number would suggest. Listen, I think we did it. Not a waste of your wine here, y'all.
Absolutely.
Highly recommend the Turley.
My best that I've ever brought to this show, and yes, I had help
100%
from a wine expert, but best one I brought.
So just do that every time. Just find a
I'll just ask
restaurateur
very, very
/
smart
wine
people every
expert.
time. Help me. Under $30, help.
Absolutely. Yes. No, awesome choice, though. Thanks for bringing this into our world, Aaron. Very cool. This is the 2022 Turley Juvenile Zinfandel from Napa. Absolutely go check this out and give it a go. Be ready for something big and fun, but definitely have our stamp of approval.